All right, here we go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello again, everyone, and welcome again to Union University basketball. Today it is the Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs taking on Mississippi College, and we're glad to have the coach, Mark Campbell, with us to preview the upcoming women's game. And Lady Bulldogs maintained it again, 13-0 in the Gulf South Conference, 15 straight on the season in their victory over Delta State on this past Thursday night. Mark, before we get into Mississippi College, let's talk about that game. This is one that I called on the air old school defensive basketball, that if you were looking for it to go up and down the floor with a lot of different transition baskets, that wasn't your style of game. But it was really one that tested your team's ability, particularly to have that strong third quarter that made the big difference.
Yeah, I think we played several games in a row. I think our last three where defense had to be something that sustained us and really was the difference in the game. And so we've struggled a little bit offensively coming back from the break we had, and our defense has allowed us to survive. And our post play was great in the second half last night. Jay really dominated in the second half. We did a really good job of getting it inside to her.
You had that early lead against them, and then all of a sudden they went on a roll and took the halftime lead by 1. Any type of adjustment that you made in the third quarter?
Not really. I think we did a better job defensively, obviously, in the second half. I think we gave up 16 points, but we got the ball inside a lot more. I think at halftime might have had 6 turnovers, and for the game I think we had 10. So the handling the ball was really good most of the night. I think we just did a much better job of getting the ball inside. Jay has really become somebody who can throw it out of the post pretty proficiently. I mean, there's not many fives in the country that have more assists than turnovers that she has. I mean, I think she is under 30 turnovers for the year for somebody who's gotten the ball, 500 times. Pretty good. And we're doing a better job of getting the ball right back to her when she throws out too. So I was just really proud that we're continuing to rely on defense. I think that's something that's going to pay off in March.
Well, let's talk about this team that's coming in from Mississippi College, and we're looking at, as you told us earlier in the week, that this is 3 games with teams that have 3 different styles. What is different about this Mississippi College team from what we saw on Thursday night with Delta State?
Well, I think they're gonna press us, and they're gonna push tempo. They have a couple of really, really good three-point shooters. One that had 7 threes against us last time we played them, had 29 points, and she's a freshman. So they just provide a different avenue for scoring. Delta State's more somebody who scores in the paint, and Mississippi College is one of those teams that scores a lot outside of it.
When you look across the board at what you had, and Bethany Dillard got you off to a real strong start in that first quarter. And it's amazing because we had her as our spotlight player of the week on Thursday, and it's amazing. She just seemingly has no nerves being a freshman doing what you ask her to do.
Yeah, and again, when we recruited her, she's one of the better shooters that we've ever recruited. And I'm not surprised at all that she's been able to step in. She's always been pretty tough-minded. She's not real sensitive about things and doesn't think about things too long. In a lot of ways, she reminds me of Meredith Richardson, who played for us in the early 2000s. Just she knows what she does well. She's going to do it. She's not real emotional about it. And Meredith was a great player for us, obviously the leading three-point shooter in the school history.
Mark, tell us about the keys to the game against Mississippi College.
I think number one is we've got to handle the basketball against their press and not have some easy turnovers that lead to points. And then secondly, we need to do a good job of keeping number 12 and number 15 off three-point line. And if we do a good job of that, I think that things will go well for us. We've got to get a lot better on offensive execution. Not sure we're going to get a ton better today or in preparation between the two games as much as we will next week. But at least we'll be aware of some areas that we can get better at.
Art, we wish you a lot of success again, as usual, on the floor as you attempt to continue to hold on to that lead in the conference and make it 14 in a row in conference play. And we'll see you down on the floor in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, so let's go down to the floor right now and give you the starting lineups for both teams. And as you see the Lady Bulldogs on the court, here are the starting lineups for your two teams today, and we will begin with the Mississippi College Lady Choctaws. And they'll be coming on today with a team that is 12-10, 7-8 in the Gulf South Conference. Starting off, Kayla Bradley, a 5'6" senior from Memphis. Allie Alford is a 5'6" freshman from Batesville, Mississippi. She's their leading scorer, averaging 14 a game as a freshman. Kaya Julian is a 5'8" sophomore from Greenwood, Arkansas, and a transfer from Arkansas Monticello. Amelia Bell is a 6'1" freshman. A lot of youngsters on this team. She's from O'Fallon, Illinois. And Nene Williams, who is a 5'11" junior from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. She is a junior college transfer. For the Lady Bulldogs, no changes today. Shanique Lucas, averaging 12 a game, and she'll be coming in, as she always is, the junior from Thailand. Ashton Baker, the Flash. She's averaging 11 a game, 5 rebounds a game, and she is all over the floor. And then Jalencia Williams, Union's leading scorer, averaging 16 a game and almost 9 rebounds. Bethany Dillard, who we visited with as our spotlight player on Thursday night. And Bethany comes in averaging 8 a game. She's had 43 pointers on the season. And then Emily Beard-Dunnigan, she's averaging 9 a game, and she's the leading outside shooter, 46 threes on the season so far. Those are your starters, brought to you by Worthy Road Studios, #1 in live production for sports, church services, and other events in West Tennessee. And now, let's go down for the invocation and our national anthem.
And your Union Lady Bulldogs. Please be advised that Union University North South Conference and NCAA are good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated, and our grounds for removal from this line of competition. Thank you for your cooperation. At this time, please rise for the invocation, or stand for the playing of our national anthem. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day you've given us. Thank you for the game of basketball and all that it means to us. We ask that you would be with these players and coaches this afternoon, that all would compete to the best of their abilities with good sportsmanship and be kept free from injury. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. At guard, 5'6" from Memphis, Tennessee, number 2, Kayla Bradley. At guard, 5'6" freshman from Batesville, Mississippi, number 12, Bethany Dillard. At guard, 5'8" sophomore from Greenwood, Arkansas, number 15, Kaya Julian. At 4'6" freshman from Ohio, Illinois, number 21, Amelia Bell. And at 4'11" junior from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, number 22, Tyree Williams. The jump ball is coached by Greg Ross, assisted by Nicky Clark, and DeAndre Thomas.
There you have it. We're ready to go here. Lady Bulldogs going for their 16th consecutive victory on the season. They haven't lost since November, and attempting to stay undefeated in the Gulf South Conference, 13-0 coming in, 18-2 overall. But this Mississippi College team is one that they will press you hard. And you'll be hearing more from Mark Campbell about that during the game. You'll be hearing more from Mike Mann and his orchestra as they continue to try to get the life going into the place here. In case you haven't been outside today, it's a lot colder than it was yesterday. It's about 37 outside in the hub city of West Tennessee. But it's a lot warmer where we are. I hope you stay warm and enjoy the basketball this afternoon. Jalencia Williams to jump it with Amelia Bell. And ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. Ashton Baker will call the signals on offense, and what a tremendous leader she has been as a graduate transfer. They go inside, and that was just a little bit beyond the angle, trying to get it inside to Jalencia Williams. But you can see where they're going for it. Nice, quick clip by the fast hands of, and that one goes off the mark, and Williams the rebound. That was the fast hands of Lucas that nearly caused the turnover. Union struggled in the first half against Delta State with its deliberate defensive style. As we said, it was old school basketball the other night. But this one should have a bit faster pace to it. And for three, iron unkind for Lucas. This has been one of the rare 3 games in a week situations during the regular season for Union. That's the style that it used to be with the old NAIA schedules that you played Monday, Thursday, Saturday for most of the season. The jumper from about 8 feet in the paint is not there, and Dillard the rebound. Ashton had 9 rebounds in the game for a point guard. That's unbelievable. Dillard, 4-3. Bethany zips the strings to make it Union on top, 3-0. And as she told us between games on Thursday night, she has a feel of the ball, particularly the way the seams are in the ball. Whenever they start to leave her hand, she knows whether it's going to be there or not. Trying the answer shot, and indeed connecting they do. Bradley, and on 3-point shooting, she is 22% on the season, so that was a big surprise to get her going. The kick outside to Dunnigan. Yes! Now that gets a smile on her face a lot better because Emily was so frustrated with herself. I talked to her for just a second between games on Thursday night. She just could not buy one against Delta State, and that's got to get her going right off the bat. They're going to work inside, Union double teaming. Baker is all over her. They're trying to get a ticket inside the paint. Trying for the big bomb again, and they get the answer shot. That's Jillian. And on the season, she averages 33% from behind the arc. This is a team that, and underneath, they go to Williams. A little bit of hesitation before she put it up, but she'll go to the line for two. Foul is charged to Bradley, the first foul of the contest. When these two teams met at Mississippi College earlier in the season, Union won at 83. What a break on the roll for Williams. Union won at 83-75 despite a 29-point fourth quarter by MC. So you know they can put points on the board when they are of the mindset. That's what you like to see if you're Union, is Williams to get started right off the bat. And, oh, that was perilously close to a steal by the Flash. And they're going to try to work it in the paint. That one was just ill-advised. Just tried to push that one over. It's like digging a shovel. And it is Dillard, and it's a three. She's got the feel today. 11-6. So Bethany starts right off. She had a hot start against Delta State and had 11 points in the first half alone. And watch her on defense. She is not going to let a man in. She switches. And here you go. That's going to be an over and back violation. First turnover of the game. As we say, this is going to be a lot faster pace as far as the scoring is concerned. Of course, the Union, a tremendous defensive effort to hold Delta State to 47 points on Thursday night. A lot of rotation in the Bulldog offense. You'll see them moving right to left to right, and Lucas couldn't get it, but right back up, not getting it, and got it on the third opportunity. That's the tenaciousness of Jalencia Williams. So she'll go to the line to attempt a three-point play, as my old friend Gary Neese would say, the hard way. And checking in for Mississippi College's Alana Kennedy. She is a freshman from Sherwood, Arkansas, a junior. She transferred from Central Arkansas. And Jay is getting the free throws down today. 3 for 3 already in the first 4 minutes of the game. And Union out to an 8-point lead. But remember, they had an early 8-point lead against Delta State on Thursday night. And they had to scratch and claw for everything that they could. They were down by 1 at halftime. Union is not letting them have a ticket inside the paint. Excellent defense on the part of the Lady Bulldogs. And that one was just simply a rob job against Kennedy. She had the range to it, and it just bounded out. Baker is absolutely in control on that court. She may make a turnover. What a wild cross-court pass. And the jumper is there. Emily is on track today. I have a feeling her dad's not going to fuss at her quite as much from the stands. 17-6, Lady Bulldogs on top as we're halfway through this first quarter, and they have piled the points on. And that was a dangerous one. Underneath, the third opportunity, Union didn't want to try to waste a foul, and Kennedy connects for her first basket. Union shooting 56% from the floor already. 80% from 3, 4 out of 5. That's usually when you feel like the ticker is really working right for the Lady Bulldogs. They get those early threes. Tried to get it inside, not enough height on the pass, and Union coughs it up trying to get it into Jay. And the jumper goes through, nicely navigated by Bradley. She's their game leader with 5. For Union, Dillard and Beard with 6 each. And Mark is yelling the offensive instructions. Got her on the inside, and she was double-teamed quickly. She has to have help. That's one thing that you're going to see. There they go. Lucas was just absolutely eagle-eyed. She had her zone there and managed to get it in. Nobody home to try to catch up with Williams, and Jay now has 7. This is one you just feel like right now from the early going, the tempo is in Union's favor, but the turnaround is there for Kennedy. Mississippi College shooting 46%. Williams way back behind the top of the key. Union playing with 10 on the shot clock. They got it lobbed on the inside again. Dish it off. Yes, that's the way you do it. Wide open to Dillard. They weren't expecting that going down the middle. And Bethany with 8. And Union up by 9. And they're going into the inside, and they're going to call Williams for the foul from behind, and she didn't even think she made contact, but that's going to be the first foul on Union. And timeout. We went 7 minutes and 20 seconds before a break in the action. Well, Union's on top 21-12. Mississippi College definitely brings a different style to David Blackstock Court than what Delta State did on Thursday night. Mark Campbell says the Lady Choctaws press can create chaos. The question is how well the Lady Bulldogs handle it.
Do you have players that maintain poise and have patience? Coach Meyer used to always say at Lipscomb that having a peace is not about the absence of turmoil or hard situations or lack of crowd noise. It's actually having a calm in the midst of all of it. And it's something we struggled with early at Drury. Mississippi College isn't going to have Drury's press, but Mississippi College is going to provide some opportunities for us to either be poised or throw impulse passes.
And that band strikes up and tries to get a little more life in the place today. Baseball players are actually out in action today. They really brought a lot to the table Thursday night in both games, and particularly even though it was a loss, they kept the guys energized in that 59-56 defeat against Delta State. Remember, we'll have the men's game coming up immediately after this one. Well, I should say instead of immediately, 27 minutes after the conclusion of this game. And we've got a great spotlight player, and that is Tyree Boykin from the Bulldogs. And also we've got a classic game that we're going to be showing you at halftime of the men's game. And Traveling is called. Trying to reach and grab that one. And so that is turnover number 2 for Mississippi College. Lady Bulldogs shooting 64%, Mississippi College 46%. They got Keely Robinson in the game now, as well as Samaria Thompson. And Leah Cauble is in, as Mark is again trying to mix his lineups. That was, shall we say, a little bit out of range for left-handed for Shanique to try to get that one up. You got to be a little bit closer in, and she was just going way too far left. So Union gives that one up as we're getting close to the 2-minute mark remaining in the first quarter. Mississippi College has had, and it went out of bounds, so Union will play it. They had a terrific victory on Thursday night down at Christian Brothers. Just really, they put 88 points on the board, and they look like $1 million there. And that is Shiley Morrison, who's into the game now, as Mark has really got a lot of the bench players in. Bethany Dillard, the only starter in the game right now, and just was off the back of the iron and give it to Union with 97 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And at halftime of this game, Coach Dave Niven will be here to give us a preview of the men's half of the doubleheader, and he's got some interesting insights. And there you go. The screen is there for the three, and Bethany was robbed. That was one I know she had the feel of it, and it just caromed left. And the jumper is there. Nice timing on that one. That's Taylor Ben, the 5'6" junior from Choctaw, Mississippi, and Union almost gives it up and gets it back. Dillard open for a 30-footer short. Probably need to be in about 3-4 more feet to be able to connect on that. And the jumper is astray and tried to get the tip. And MC is going to get a third opportunity at it. This is a team that will crash on the glass. And here you go. Let's see what happens here. I don't think they'll stop Keely Robinson at all. That was just one. It was off the foot of the Mississippi College guard, and Keely just went down and was uncontested. They weren't going to stop her on that. And that one was one that was about like the one that Shanique put up at the opposite end. Again, it's hard to curl when you're that far outside to curl in for a bank off the shoulder. They're going to play for the final, and Mark is frantically directing traffic. They got to hurry. Thompson right through everybody, and that's the way you do it in the final possession of the quarter. So Samaria makes it a 25-14 Union lead. This is not going to be the kind of low-scoring game that we had Thursday night in here. But with Union on top, the calm in the midst of a storm is one of the oldest cliches in literature. But Mark Campbell says as the Lady Bulldogs approach the postseason, they have to adopt that very attitude.
You know, the worst parts of any of our lives are made when we make impulse decisions. And so Mississippi College will put us in certain circumstances where we don't want to make any impulse decisions. We want to be really poised, be able to be patient in the midst of it, and then, try to execute.
Lady Bulldogs, a strong first quarter, shooting 53% from the floor, 4 out of 8 and 3-pointers, and perfect, all of them by Jalencia Williams, as you get a spin around the gym and see some of the folks here to support them today. Union's been out-rebounded 9-8. Let's look at the first quarter scoring. Bradley, the leader for MC with 5, and Kennedy with 4. But for Union, it is Bethany Dillard with 8. She's got a couple of 3-pointers. Jalencia Williams 7 and Emily Beard 6. So they account for 21 of Union's 25 points. Lady Bulldogs have only turned it over once, Mississippi College 4 times. And Union's picked up 5 points off of the Choctaws' turnovers. And now it's Williams and Baker back in the lineup. Shiley Morrison is in there along with, he's got both. This is interesting. He's playing both Williams and Robinson, so somewhat of a twin towers. Williams so fast that she can play the guard as well as the post, and 3 seconds is called. And checking back in for Union is Emily Dunnigan. Shiley Morrison will come out. We're not seeing the kind of press from Mississippi College, which they are very capable of doing. And again, don't kid yourself. They can get an offensive explosion going, almost a steal by Levy. Baker needs help. These passes are so crisp. And that spin move is there. Left hand. That's Jalencia Williams at her best. A 27-14 Union lead. And there you go. That's finally, she was not too far outside, and she was able to get the reach with her arm extension, and Alford gets her first basket. Alford's an exciting player to watch. 14 points on the season average and 48 three-pointers. So she can hit from outside. Bradley has 46 assists on the season from the corner, just off the mark for Dunnigan. But I like what I'm seeing today in Emily's shots, even though that one missed. She's got her range back. And again, that was a nice curl from the outside. So Levy with her first basket. 6 different Choctaws have scored so far in the contest. Baker. And open for an easy one. That ain't even a jumper. That was just, and Mark had the smile on his face, just flat-footed because there was nobody there to stop her. Williams with 9 in the game now. She is the game leader. And that's going to be a 2. Her foot was just over the arc line. So that is Taylor Ben's first basket of the game. Union by 9. They were up 11 at the end of the first quarter. And there you go. The Flash had an opening and didn't take the shot. This time, too high off the glass. Unless you've got wild spin on the ball, it is so hard to get one up that high above the square. I'm not sure the Flash shouldn't have gone in and taken that shot. The jumper. And iron was unkind for Ben. Ashton will set it up. She's in control at all times. Now you watch her try to look for the open player. Samaria thought about the 3. They got to hurry now. They're down to 7 on the shot clock. And Samaria drew the foul. She saw 3 defenders crashing in on her and instinctively went in to try to knock the basket down. Foul is called on Bell. Instead, we were looking at him from a reverse angle. It's actually, it was on Bell. Okay, they didn't call it on Alford. So Samaria Thompson at the line. She has a very, very fluent shooting motion from the free throw line. And she has really improved her game in January and February. Nailed them both. Got just the right amount of spin. Union's going to send Dillard and Lucas back in. And it looks like the original 5 starters are back in for the Lady Bulldogs, who lead by 11. And they're going to go inside against the double team, and nothing was there. That left open the outside for Bell, who couldn't connect. They're still shooting 45% from the floor. Tipped away, and Union will play it. You can see how they are trying to exploit the inside and get that lob pass into Jalencia Williams. So here goes Ashton to toss it in. Look at that. There you go. That is textbook lob and connect. Softly off the glass by Jalencia Williams with the left hand, which she's done so proficiently today, and she has 11. Got a feeling she's in potentially for another double-double today. And on the outside, they got to hurry. 5 on the shot clock. They're going to work against Lucas. What a block! Right at the end of it. And 1 second remaining on the shot clock. About all you can do is try a lob and a volleyball tip. And for Jalencia, that is on the season. And I'm trying to look here. That's her 48th blocked shot on the season. Perfect timing. That was, it's just what you would call right on the edge of the shot clock. And they couldn't get the follow-up, so Union again trying to capitalize on what's almost the equivalent of a turnover. Baker has added so much leadership to this team since she transferred from Liberty. Down to 6 on the shot clock, going to have to hurry. And open for the 3. Yes! That's what you call taking 29 seconds on the possession. That's Shanique's first 3 of the game. 6 different Lady Bulldogs have now scored. And going for the long 3 and just caroming off. Good range on the part of Bradley. As we say, she's a fine three-point shooter. Shanique's going to go again. High arc. Oh, just caromed off left. This thing is just like the first quarter. Is the action has been so continuous, we haven't had time for a media timeout. And so very few fouls have been called in this game. And that one went off of the fingertips. Trying to retrieve it was Ashton Baker. So Mississippi College will play it after we come back from the timeout with Union leading 36-20. Well, Mark Campbell is mixing a lot of players in the lineup today, and he will continue to do that as we approach tournament time. And he says depth and stamina are 2 keys to being successful on the road to a championship.
I think it's hard. You usually have your 7 people that you feel really comfortable with, and then this is a team that I think we can go probably 9 deep and really trust some people, and we've got to get better than that in the last 5 games, because when you get to the conference tournament, you're playing back-to-back days, and then you get in the regional tournament, you're playing 2 out of 3 days, hopefully, and then if you had a chance, be fortunate enough to get to an Elite 8, you're going to play 2 out of 3 days. And so depth is a big part of tournament play. When we were in AI, you had to play 5 games in 7 days or 5 games in 6 days. So we made sure that our depth in the post was we had 3 deep, and we were going to be able to be physical, because whatever that 5 out of 6 or 5 out of 7 day demanded, we had to be ready for.
There they go with the land of 1,000 dances. You usually hear that 2 or 3 times. Look at all the brand new Bulldog caps that they have on, the ones in red. Tommy Sadler distributing those before the game today, and we got all but one in that pep band wearing them. There you go, some more of the good fans who are here today. Lady Bulldogs were up 25-14 at the end of the first quarter, leading by 16 now, with just a little bit more than 4 minutes remaining in this first half. This has the potential of a game that may be played in the 80s or 90s for Union. They tried to kick outside, but Lucas was so quick to pick up her defender. Down to 3 on the shot clock. They got a rifle one, and it was there. I think Julian used all of the strength that she possibly had and managed to make that one fly. As we say, their three-point percentage is not the best, and there's the flash. It just went way too far right. Went off the side of her right hand. But Mississippi College is right now 3 out of 5, 60% from behind the arc. Union 5 out of 11 for 46%. It's just that MC does not put the ball up from behind the arc nearly as much. Turnaround jumper, just too much on it for Sykes. And Lady Bulldogs trying to extend this lead back out. Mark Campbell, I can tell you, no matter how he has a lead, he does not want to see his team lose a quarter. Wide open on the inside, but Union will play it again. The defenders crash down on Williams very, very quickly. Leah Cauble checking back in. Also, Shiley Morrison. And this goes right into what we just heard in Mark Campbell's interview about trying to mix and match his lineup. They've got 7 to work with, so somebody's got to get open, and it is going to be Lucas trying the bomb, and it's off the back of the iron. Shanique really did not have a choice because nobody else was open. This is a tenacious defensive team from Mississippi College. They will guard you well. Oh, yeah, almost a travel, but it was stripped away by Cauble. And Lucas is going to try to take it all the way down the iron and drew that foul. You've seen her all during the season. It doesn't matter whether it's the left or right side of the paint. If she sees a lane, she is so fast that she will try to go in and just beat the defenders, or she'll crash right into them knowing she's probably going to draw a foul. Nobody has been in the bonus today because, again, Union has only committed 1 personal foul in the contest and only 3 for Mississippi College. So we haven't had stops in the action for this. We're almost done with the second quarter, and this game has only been 26 minutes old. And Shanique with both of them. And the Lady Bulldogs back to the 15-point margin. And let's see how Coach Greg Long plays it. And traveling. That was just one of those changing the pivot foot in an attempt to try to dish off, and it was a quick whistle, but they called it. Ashton Baker checks back in to give Lucas a bit of a break. And Cauble will toss it in. Jalencia Williams, your game's leading scorer with 11. She's also got 5 rebounds. As I say, she may be on her way to another double-double this afternoon. And there they go on the inside. Jalencia with the juggling possession. Look at that. She's going to still get a foul. Nope. I thought she was at least going to get a foul. That was very patient defense on the part of the Choctaws. Nicely navigated down the lane to Nene Williams. That was one of those that she was in traffic and they knew it, but Jalencia just could not get her feet planted well enough to connect. And that was great defense on the part and very quick reacting defense. It is Cauble. Oh, way too high off the iron. But Jay just forces her way underneath. And she has 13. She had 21 on Thursday night against Delta State after being held to 5 in the first half. She had struggled in the first half. That second half, she took control. And the curl is going to be followed by a foul by Emily Dunnigan. And checking back in is going to be Samaria Thompson. Emily's going to come out. And at the line, it is Ben. She's had a couple of baskets in the game today and a couple of rebounds. This team shoots 66% from the free throw line. Not your best percentage in the conference. Got the second of the 2. Mississippi College trying to hang on to maintain an opportunity to play in the conference tournament. The top 8 do. And that one's just short. As we came into today's play, MC was 7-8, tied with Montevallo for the 7th and 8th positions. So every game is so crucial for the Choctaws. Big long bomb 3 goes off to the right. And it goes off the fingertips of Williams. And the shot clock is turned off with 15 seconds remaining on the game clock. And let's see how they play it on the inbound. Wide open. Nobody saw it, but they were fortunate. Here goes the flash. And she's going to try it one-on-one. She doesn't have a lot of time. Here goes the big bomb. No. And it didn't come down in time for Williams to try to get a follow. So Union, a little bit cooler in that half, in that quarter, I should say, 40-26 on top. Still managed to outscore Mississippi College 15-12 in the second quarter. Let's take a look at what your scoring looks like right now for the Choctaws. 6 for Kaya Julian. She has 6. And Bradley with 5, Kennedy with 4, and Ben with 5. And you've had 7 different Choctaws who have scored. For Union, it's been Jalencia Williams having herself a fantastic afternoon. She's 5 of 9 from the floor, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. She's got 13 along with 7 rebounds. And 8 for Bethany Dillard. She had a couple of early three-pointers. Emily Beard had a couple of threes. She has 6 in the game so far. And so Union on top 40-26 as they go to the locker room. Well, it's time for our usual halftime feature, and that is with Coach Dave Niven. And today, he's going to reflect a bit on a night that did not end well on Thursday night against Delta State, but trying to shake that off and see what they can do today to get back on the winning track against Mississippi College. So here is our Bulldog preview with Coach Dave Niven. Are at halftime once again with the Bulldog preview with Coach Dave Niven, and we're going to be looking at what we can expect this afternoon in the men's half of this doubleheader against Mississippi College. But Dave, before we do that, let's look back just briefly at Thursday night against Delta State. This was one of those grueling games to watch. It was just like it was really unlike any other I think I've seen all season long. First, give us your takeaway from a game in which, if you look at the stats, it would be a surprise, perhaps, that Union still had the opportunity to tie the game on the final possession. It was just really a rough game. Give us your takeaway from that.
Yeah, it was hard to watch. It was hard to coach. It was an ugly game. We played poorly. Delta State, I thought, played really well, and their best players made big plays, and they made big plays. Both of them hit big shots right down the stretch, and we for the most part, I thought, defended and certainly defended according to plan, the way we had asked them to, and had, as far as defensive efficiency goes, we reached a lot of our goals. We held them to under 0.9 points per possession, which is really good. Really good defense. You don't like seeing two guys score almost 80% of their points, but for the most part, I thought our defense was good enough. If you told me before the game that we were going to hold them to 58, I would have been really, really happy with that. Our offense was just really bad, probably the worst we've played this season, and a combination of turnovers, combination of just not being able to make some good looks, and also possessions where we took bad shots. Those three things happened far too often, and we weren't able to overcome it.
It was one of those games that it just looked like it was out of sync after you had the 12-4 lead early on. As a coach who's watching and monitoring and having to make the decisions, how can you tell at a specific point in the game this is just not clicking like it's supposed to? Because there were a lot of good looks at the basket, and they just simply weren't dropping, and particularly from behind the arc. You just could not seemingly buy one in the first, say, 3 quarters of the game.
I didn't feel like it was going very well from the beginning. I didn't feel like our starters were very efficient when we subbed. I didn't think didn't think we had any kind of a spark that came off the bench. And if you look at our stats, Hunter Vick played really well last night. Shot the ball really well last night. Made good decisions, and you know, he was the bright spot for us offensively. Nobody else really played at the level that they're capable of playing and the level that we're used to them playing. So it was just a combination of a lot of poor play, and you know, when you're deep and you can go to your bench and you give guys a chance, and you try somebody else, and you try somebody else, and you try somebody else, and we just couldn't find anything that worked very consistently last night. But I've been telling our guys, you know, all along, hey, this is hard. What you're trying to do is hard. You're getting everybody's best every night, and we certainly did last night in Delta State. We'll get the best out of Mississippi College, I'm sure, on Saturday, and we have to be ready to play and play at a really high level, night in and night out. And we defended pretty well last night. We just were really out of sync offensively, and you know, that's the second time we've had an 8-day break this season. We've lost both of them coming out of that. So good news is there are no more 8-day breaks. So that's a blessing right there. But we've got to figure out how to come out of those layoffs a little bit more efficient, a little bit more ready to play. I'm thankful we get a chance to come out and play quick, less than 48 hours after playing so poorly.
Yeah, you don't have time to dwell on this one because you got to turn right around and get ready for a different opponent. In talking to Mark about the women playing 3 this week, and he was saying the interesting thing about this week for them is that they were going to be playing 3 different teams that have 3 different styles of basketball. How about contrasting what you saw with Delta State with what Mississippi College is going to bring to the table this very day?
Yeah, Mississippi College, they are similar in some ways. Their best players are interior post guys, and so they will be pounding it inside, and we're going to have to be better defending the post than we were last night. They will press a little bit more, so it should be a little bit more up tempo than Delta State. Delta State really loves to run that clock down, and they took a lot of late, like 1-2 second shots on the shot clock last night, and they made a lot of those. So made some big ones late with just 1 second left on the shot clock, and so that I don't think we'll see as much of that. I do think it'll be a little bit faster paced game, but probably not terribly so. It's not going to be like what we had with Valdosta a couple weeks ago, where we're breaking 100. It'll be they will play at a slower pace for sure. But there are some similarities in just how they're trying to score. They're gonna try to really attack the inside.
I told Mike Nienaber after Thursday night's game, I said, this court seemingly, in fact, I'd even said on the air, I said, when Mike Nienaber comes to town, that usually means trouble. And I mean that in the most complimentary way, because over the years, regardless of who he has coached, it seems as though the Fred DeLay factor for him has worked very, very well. When it comes to Mississippi College, all right, we talked about tempo. What about the inside and the outside games for this particular team that's coming in?
Yeah, they've got really athletic guards. They haven't been shooting it all that well from 3. That'll be important that we don't let them get going and feeling good about themselves from the perimeter. But they will primarily work from the inside out and really try to establish that aspect of the game. It'll be important that we're able to defend in there a little bit better, and then stay in front of their guards. They've got athletic guards that can get the basket, and they'll set a lot of ball screens for them. Our ball screen coverage will have to be really, really sound. So those are going to be two big keys for us for sure.
All right, let's do the bullet points, and that's keys to the game against Mississippi College. What do you see as the most important thing for your team hitting the floor in probably about 45 minutes from now?
Oh, I think we need to be a lot more efficient offensively. We've got to take care of the basketball. We had too many turnovers the last time we played them. I think if you can handle the basketball, we can get some good looks, and we need to be ready to make shots. We need our starting group to be ready and focused, ready to execute and make shots, finish plays around the basket, make the open three, make free throws when we get there. We need guys coming off the bench to give us a spark and make us better when we sub. That needs to be evident every night that we've got guys coming in. We're bringing them in around the 15, 16-minute mark and there's a burst and a boost that our team gets. We've got some really good scorers, good shooters that come off the bench for our team, and we need them to produce and be those players when they get in there. And so I think offensively, that's going to need to be something that we see get better and get better quickly. Defensively, it'll be our ability to stay in front on ball screens and then defend in the post and rebound. That they've got some guys that are tough matchups, particularly their post players, a tough matchup to guard one-on-one down there. So we're going to have to be creative and do a good job of defending that guy.
Dave, we look forward to a better outcome at the end on today's game and wish you and the Bulldogs a lot of good luck. And we'll see you out on the floor about 27 minutes after the women finish up.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
All right, now let me get a couple of these in. Lady Bulldogs quickly back on the floor for warm-ups before we start the third quarter. So let's go to your halftime statistics brought to you by Worthy Road Studios, #1 in West Tennessee in live video sports and special events production. Lady Bulldogs have cooled off a little bit from that blistering shooting pace that they had in the first quarter, 44%, 14 of 32 from the floor. Mississippi College is right on their season's average of 38%, 11 of 29. In three-point field goals, now Union was all over at 60% at one point. That cooled off a bit in the second quarter. 5 out of 15 for 33%, and MC is actually on top of them, 3 out of 7 for 43%. But Union still has put more threes in the bucket today. Free throws. All three of them that Union has had were from Jalencia Williams until finally Lucas and Thompson contributed 2 each. But Union 7 of 7 from the line for 100%. 1 out of 2. Mississippi College has not been able to get there much because Union's only committed 2 fouls in the whole game. MC has out-rebounded Union 20-15, and a lot of that comes from second-chance opportunities, some of which did not fall. But here's a big category. MC has committed 8 turnovers to only 1 for Union, and the Lady Bulldogs have capitalized with 12 points off of those Choctaw mistakes. And that's the way it looks with Union on top 40-26 at halftime. And there are some of the partisans who have gone to the concession stands to try to avail themselves of some of the good eats that they have in the place. And these guys are always happy to see themselves on television. They'll take your money and they'll take a shot on the camera. That's exactly what they do. Oh, my goodness. We have so many happy people around this place. It's always a happy situation when you find yourself with teams that win as often as Union has, and the Lady Bulldogs up 14 and trying to go for their 16th straight victory on the season. They are 13-0 in the Gulf South Conference. And we're about a minute away from the tip-off here. Lady Bulldogs in this game, they've had, if you will, it has not been one where they've smashed away a lot of things. They have had 3 steals in the contest, and 2 of them have led to baskets. And there you go, back in the back quarters of this place as we're getting ready to start this quarter. There you go, as we give you the tour of behind the scenes. That's the men's locker room right there that they're beginning to get their game plan together. But this is where the Brain Trust operates. To toss it in, it's going to be Allie Alford as MC gets the first possession of the third quarter. And they're going to work around the perimeter. Again, they're going to have to look at Williams working against Bell. And Williams is trying to play a little bit further outside, maybe get a jumper. And the floater is there and the foul, and they're going to charge it to Shanique Lucas. So if you're Mississippi College, that's a great start for you. And attempting to go in for the three-point play will be Bradley. On the season, she averages 7 a game. And, okay, I guess the official had to touch the ball again. And this will unquestionably, she's going to be right at her season average with that. So they get a three-point play right off the bat, 40-29. Ashton trying to just get the tempo going, and they go inside to Williams. She ducked and then went right back up and managed to get it. That fake absolutely fooled the defenders, and that's how she takes control of the game, and she has 15. Trying to go into the paint with that jumper and just getting the fine roll on that is Julian. She has 8, and she and Bradley are the leaders for Mississippi College. They're trying to pick up the tempo a bit here. I haven't seen a team that's been able to run up and down the floor with Union this season, but they're trying to just jack it up a bit because they just simply did not have a lot of rhythm in the first half. There they go, inside, and Williams is not going to be able to get it. Goes to the deck. No, they say it went off the fingertips of Nene Williams. That was a well-timed lob inside, and you can see they're going to try to exploit that once again. She has a height advantage on the inside. Now watch this. And wide open Dunnigan. No. Off the mark. And look at Williams go for that one, but she fell to the deck. She could not hold on, and everybody is trying to get her back up. That's one thing. When she goes down, you have about 8 breaths that almost freeze at that point. All right, let's see how Coach Long is going to play this one. The folks from down at Clinton, Mississippi, very proud of their athletic program. And that one's fired just a little bit too hard by Bell. And here goes the flash once again. Almost had it knocked from behind. It is Lucas from the corner. Yes! Shanique with 8. And that's her second three-pointer of the afternoon. So Union back out to a 14-point margin, which is what they had at halftime. And a little bit of a slide, but a nice bank shot. Offered, timing it beautifully. Pushing with the left hand. And Lucas lost it. Just simply lost control. She had a little bit of indecision as to whether to pass or to try that dribble penetration. That is a rare block that you'll see from Ashton Baker, but she fired it away, and I'm looking down here, and her mother was absolutely amused at that. Ashton told us earlier in the season about how much her parents have made such a difference and were so supportive of her in her athletic career growing up. And they're here at virtually every Union game. They're working against Williams and got the hook, and it goes off the back of the iron. And Jalencia may be at the double-double stage right now. Oh, that behind the back dribble. 15 on the shot clock. Jalencia with that triple spin, it just didn't go because she was going off balance with the left hand. She's 6 of 12 from the floor. Yeah, she's got the double-double, 15 points and 10 rebounds for the little jumper, and it's just far left. And a scramble, but it is Mississippi College with the offensive rebound and the three for Alford. Alford with 7, and they've closed that lead down to 9. And Lucas thought about going down the right-hand side. They wanted a travel violation. You saw the whole bench for Mississippi College clamoring for it, but instead Williams goes inside and draws the foul, and it's going to be charged to Bradley. That is only her second. We have only had 8 personal fouls called in this entire game. We're in the third quarter, and this game is only 51 minutes old. Jalencia has had an afternoon from the line, 4 out of 4. Let's see if Jay can make it an even 5. And does. It's almost like she spent time in the locker room getting about 100 shots off. Shanique is going to come out. Samaria Thompson will come in her place. They're going to try to work the inside and see if they... And look at that block. That's her 49th block of the season. Perfectly timed. Ashton Baker, her passing has been amazing today. She hasn't scored, but you've just seen her floor leadership everywhere. Fingerprints all over this court. The lob by Samaria was a little bit wide, but it was tipped away. So Union will play it with 12 on the shot clock. The one thing you have to remember is that this Mississippi
a great post move, and there'd be a defender in the corner not helping down at all. And we tend to celebrate the move, but we don't celebrate the space that provided the move. And that space has been provided by Emily for all 5 years she's been here. And so I just appreciate her and how she comes to work every day, does everything she possibly can. You never have to worry about if Emily Beard's doing her job.
Well, the officials have been looking to see if that was a flagrant foul. And indeed, they say it was not, so Union will just play it. If you have a flagrant foul, you're going to go to the line at almost the equivalent of a technical foul. And Union picking up that tempo again around the perimeter. Keely Robinson in to give Williams a rest. And there you go, the give and go. Thompson dishing off to Dillard, who has 11, and that's the textbook way of doing it. That's the way you do it in practice so many times, and that's the way you're supposed to deliver when you're playing against any kind of defense, and they do. And on the inside, and that one, it gets back to Mississippi College, and there you go. 3-second violation. That's the second that we've seen today against Nene Williams. You can go sometimes probably half a season and not see 3-second violations called, and we've had 2 today. Players are a lot more, because of the motion offenses, players are a lot more significant when they know to get out of that lane. Union recovers very quickly, and Thompson for the 3. Yep! Perfect motion. Samaria with 9. You got Williams 19, Dillard 11, and Samaria with 9. Lucas has 8. And again, they'll take their time on it. Ooh, almost a travel. Union by its largest margin of 19. They're going to work against Robinson, and she's no slouch on defense, and that was a nicely navigated bank shot by Sykes. Going right over Keely Robinson. Thompson's a great ball handler. Look at it. Tried the give and go once again, and that's a tripping foul. They were trying to get it inside to Shiley Morrison, and she had a ticket, and then all of a sudden there was an outstretched foot. And we got about 3 minutes remaining in the quarter, and we got double substitutions coming in for MC. Bell is back into the game, and King comes in. That's Desiree King. She's from Houston, Texas, another transfer from Arkansas Monticello. And Shiley Morrison gets her name in the books today with both free throws. So Lady Bulldogs have just been playing with steady precision in this game. They've only turned it over 4 times in the entire contest. They forced 10 turnovers on Mississippi College. That one was there, but iron was unkind, and there you go. Thompson's got it. She's got 4 on top of her, though, and takes it right on in and cannot make it go. I tell you what, never say that Samaria Thompson has any fear in traffic. She'll go against the buzzsaw and give it the first 2 rounds. Beautiful 3 by Julian. She's there first in double figures with 11. Union by 16. The victory today would be 1 away from the longest winning streak, or matching the longest winning streak that Union has had under Mark Campbell. And there you go. Again, perfect instinctive movement, recognizing that you got defenders who are going to crash in on you, and she knows right when to release the ball. Checking in again are Levy and Alford. Julian's going to be coming out for a bit, and so Thompson goes back to the line, and she has a chance to get into double figures. As I say, her game has really ratcheted up since we got into January, and she has been very impressive. 5 of 5 from the free throw line, and Union today 15 of 16. That free throw percentage has just been looking better and better. Nailed them both. Lady Bulldogs by 18, and Thompson comes out with her 11 points. She'll be back in again for more in the fourth quarter. We're under 2 minutes remaining in period number 3, and that went off the foot of Alford, and that's nothing any more frustrating because she had an open player on the side, and the dribble just went off her foot. There's nothing she could do. I can tell you players have told me, I can't tell you how many times it happened to Tyree Boykin on Thursday night in the final possession where perhaps he had a chance at the tying shot. It just went off his foot. It just happens. Look at that dish off. And for the 3. Nope, too much on it. Rebound coming off to King. And this is one of the few times that they have beaten the Lady Bulldogs back down the floor. And Bell connects her first basket, and she has an opportunity for the 3-point play. Bell averages 8 points a game, and they've done a good job of defending her today. She averages 6 rebounds, and they've held her to 3. Nice 3-point play to cut it back to 15 points. And I'm sure what has to be in their minds is, hey, we put up 29 against you in the fourth quarter on our home court. We could do it again. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Now they're going to have to hurry. Baker may have to take this one herself, and she forced that one, and it went through. A line drive for Ashton Baker, her first basket of the game. That was almost a left-hand push shot. And from the corner, the bomb is off the iron, and Ashton the rebound. Boy, look at the flash go. Dishing it off to Williams. Ashton might could have taken that, but she saw Williams wide open and fired it in there. Jalencia with 21. Lady Bulldogs again by 19. That's a 35-footer that's an air ball. That just was a little bit out of Alford's range. And she'll check out. That's one of those that she was open and she had a look, but you got to figure she needed to be 5 to 6 feet further into the basket. Man, that's a nice job setting that screen, creating separation. That's what Mark Campbell has talked about, and that's what Dillard did to allow Thompson to dribble it down the floor. Dillard's got to get open, puts up the 3. Yes! Dillard with 14, and that's 3 times today that Union has been for the final possession and connected. So Union up 68 to 46, and they got 3 in double figures this afternoon. Well, all of the teams in the Gulf South Conference are now in the 4th month of this long journey toward the postseason. I asked Mark to tell us about the challenge to keep his team from experiencing mental or emotional fatigue late in the season.
I think you handle it the same way you've been handling it all year. I think so. I think the way to do that is just be consistent in how you prepare. And so if we prepare the same way every night, every opponent, we talk about the same things, we have the same goals, then today's game against Mississippi College is no different than our game on Thursday against Delta, and our Delta game was no different than our game on Monday against Huntsville, and Monday's Huntsville game wasn't any different than our West Georgia game last week. And
hey, I can't get that. That's too high. Hey, baby, I want to know if you'll be my girl. It's sing a long time, but it was a little too high for me to hit it on the upper register there, so I had to bring it down to the bass section. They haven't struck up the last 2 games with Sweet Caroline, so I don't think I've ever heard them play. That was the Swinging Medallions back in 1967. Hey, hey, baby. 55 years ago, that was one that hit number 4 on the Billboard charts. A little bit of music trivia for you today. There's Cowboy Curling the platinum medalist in the Olympics. And Bulldogs have the early possession here in the fourth quarter. And Mark has his starters back in, and Lucas way off to the left. Dillard with 14, Thompson 11, 21 for Jalencia Williams. That one, she knew the minute it left her fingertips that it wasn't going to go. We got a jump ball. Julian, I think really it went off the end of her fingers, and she didn't get the push on it. Alternate possession is going to go back to the Choctaws, and checking back in, Shiley Morrison. And let's see, who did they send out? Ashton Baker. And again, they're working the perimeter. Even though they're down 22, they're going to play their disciplined offense, and the turnaround is there. So Kennedy with 6. Union has such good ball handlers. Shiley had that kicked away, but Union will play it with 18 on the shot clock. You really don't lose anything. The big thing Mark has of concern is a team that really presses them hard, as Drury University did in a non-conference game back in November. And a foul inside the paint. They'll play it underneath. And charge that one to Bell. That will be her second. But again, think about a game like this. Only 15 personal fouls called. And you had one between Delta State and Mississippi College earlier in the season in which 60 personal fouls were called. Took more than 2 hours to play that game, clock time. Jalencia is going to try to work. Look at that move. That's an Olympic-style move by Jay. 23 on the afternoon, and add to that 12 rebounds and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. And that, again, was one of those situations where Bell just lost control of the ball. A little bit of intimidation by Williams. I mean, this has been an afternoon that Jalencia has been at the top of her game. And that was not at the top of the Lady Bulldogs game with that pass, but the shot from behind was not good. And Ben has it fall short, and Lucas lost it off her fingertips trying to come down with it. And checking back in for Union, Bailey Augustine making her first appearance of the afternoon, and coming out is Bethany Dillard. Now, that doesn't mean Bethany's not going to get back into the game, because Mark is still mixing and matching a lot of different combinations. The jumper, just too much on it for Kennedy. And again, they have been so close on 3 consecutive possessions, and the ball just would not drop. This team, it doesn't matter what combination you got in there, they run the offense in so much of a disciplined fashion. Shanique is that low center of gravity, but they got to hurry. Down to 5. She may take it herself. The kick outside. Don't dribble it, because you're going to lose the time. That's what happened. But I will tell you something. Even though I know that's not what Mark wanted to see, and that's probably one of his first frustrations of the afternoon, a lot of coaches will tell you, I'd rather see a 30-second clock violation than to see a stupid mistake that you would make passing it. Well, this has been a busy week for the Lady Bulldogs. On the road in Huntsville Monday night before coming back home for games Thursday night and today. But Mark tells us that even in a crowded week, mental focus is everything to achieve success.
It won't be different than our CBU or our West Alabama game next week, is that we've got an opponent to prepare for. We know what they do well. We've got to take away their strengths and go at their weaknesses, and we've got to make sure that we understand how to execute them against a team that's going to defend us in certain ways. And so everybody on our team knows their jobs, why they're gifted, and they know their job is to give their gifts away. And if they go through a game and don't give their gifts away, they haven't done their job.
And I think Mark Campbell right now is trying to tell his team to get mentally focused. He did not like what he saw on that possession where they were called for a 30-second shot violation. And that's only the 6th turnover of the afternoon, and Union has picked up 17 points off of the mistakes of Mississippi College. But he doesn't like to see those things happen. There you go. Those guys are – that's some of the happiest guys and ladies in the whole place. And they will trickle in more and more as the men's game approaches, which will start, I'm looking at it right now, probably in the neighborhood of 4 o'clock. Good to have you aboard. Steve Beverly with you right here on Worthy Road Studios on E+ TV6, eplustv6.com, uuathletics.com, and the free-to-view app on Roku TVs and players. And reaching in and drawing that foul is Shanique Lucas, her second. And it'll be, let's see, who's checking in here for Union? It's going to be, Williams is going to come out and Keely Robinson back in. Williams gets a hand from the faithful here. 23 points and 13 rebounds on the afternoon. They're going to try to work on Keely, and the fall away is not there. And Keely came up with that rebound, but they have to scramble for it, and it's going to be Union's ball. So Augustine will toss it in. They haven't really employed a lot of high-pressure backcourt defense today. Looked like they were going to come over and double-team against Morrison, and she's got trouble, and Mark calls timeout. So 7:12 remaining. Lady Bulldogs on top, 70-48. Mark tells us life can become like a jigsaw puzzle when you have to prepare for 3 different opponents in the same week. He's going to give you an inside look at how he juggles the game plans during that kind of a crowded schedule.
Some weeks different than others, right? So if you play Lee on a Saturday, which we will this year at the end of the year, that's a difficult prep because they do so many things. So their prep's going to start on Monday as we're preparing for shorter as well. And so if you play a team like Delta and then you play a team that's like UAH on a Saturday, that's a difficult prep on Saturday because UAH is totally different. And so figuring out how to do that well, integrating both throughout the week, and then trying to focus on the harder things to guard, and then reminding them today or on a Friday when we go through it before Mississippi College, here's the things we went over earlier in the week. Here's what Mississippi College does well.
Lady Bulldogs came in today averaging 74 points a game, and they're going to at least reach that average and probably top it. I don't think Mark would be too happy if they only scored 4 points in the last 7 minutes and 12 seconds. The Lady Choctaws, 66 points a game. The impressive thing, both teams have held their opposition to 60 points a game. So this is a very, very strong defensive team from the Choctaws in scoring defense. If they have a weak point to their game is that they make 18 turnovers a game, and today they've made 12, so they've held that down somewhat. There you go, underneath and in all kinds of trouble, and they'll play it underneath. That is only the second team foul of the quarter. The one thing I like about quarters is that we have seen so fewer 10-minute periods where teams go to the bonus. I truly think that has sped up the game immensely, and I just wish men's basketball would do it. Underneath, the dish to Augustine, and she's on the board. Everybody who's played except for Leah Cauble has scored. Nice job on that curling layup by Bradley. And that's hard to do when you're going to your left and you release it with your left hand. Almost a steal. And they are going to go inside. And look at the way Augustine just demands it. She was not going to be denied. And I can tell you, Bailey has no fear whatsoever. And she'll have an opportunity for a three-point play. off the back of the iron, and she goes after it. Nobody was going after it. They froze. I think they thought it was going to be a 2-shot foul. Look at Mark giving her the high five because, seriously, everybody froze, and she missed it. And I think they thought it was going to be a 2-shot foul, but she had already had the basket beforehand. It was instinctive on her part, and she almost got the offensive rebound. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I've seen that happen before, except maybe with the Harlem Globetrotters. The hook is there. Nice job of making that one drop by Danielle Tennant. She's from Kingston, Jamaica, and transferred from Miami-Dade College. And Mark is mixing in a reserve at the post. He's got Shanique Lucas, and then he has 3 bench players playing guard as well. Shanique's going to have to hurry with this one, and I don't think she's going to make it. You got to let it go. Yep, that's 2 30-second clock violations, and some of that may be from the inexperience of these players playing together in game action. Sally Howell, the local girl from here in Jackson, went to Trinity Christian Academy, is into the game. She's a sophomore. So Shanique is going to come out. Still got about 5.5 minutes remaining. And this, you got to know, this Mississippi College team is going to play as if they're only 2 behind. And another lob inside the Tennant. She goes 6'6". She may be the tallest player I've seen in this conference this year. Union down to 13 again. Augustine playing at the post. She's going to have to go with this shortly. They have no idea how much time is on the clock, and they throw it away. And Mark may be calling a timeout here shortly. Bradley with the layup, and Mark is indeed calling a timeout. So as Union has given up 6 consecutive points to make it 74-56, we've seen Bethany Dillard take a leadership role on this Lady Bulldogs team that is unusual for a freshman, but she has not hesitated to take that responsibility seriously.
I actually started as a freshman in high school, completely different in college. It's definitely I have a role that Campbell has pointed out to me, and it's just been up to me to fulfill that role. But the older girls have definitely been a leading hand in all that. So not too much pressure, but still kind of some pressure.
And you see some of the guys from Crockett County up here in the stands this afternoon. Good to see some young folks here today. And Union's going to play it, and I have a feeling that was a bit of a sermonette because of those 2 consecutive. One of them was not technical, and there you go, just tossing it away. Miscommunication between Augustine and Morrison, and so Union has been they had 4 turnovers in the game about 3 minutes ago, and now that's the 8th. So again, it's players who are unaccustomed to playing with each other right now, and Mark is trying to be very patient with it. They're working against Robinson again, and this is Tennant. Now they're down to 8 on the shot clock and the travel. Mark has only 1 timeout left. It's not really consequential in the game. Coach Long from Mississippi College has not taken a single timeout in this game. And the foul. And let's see they're going to say it was just knocked out of bounds. It's not going to be charged as a foul as we get close to the 4-minute mark. Union has not scored in the last 3.5 minutes. Down to 10 on the shot clock again. Howell's in trouble. They're just not penetrating at all. I don't think she has any idea how much is on the clock and just threw it away. And unfortunately for Mississippi College, the same thing happened at the opposite end. And Coach Long is bringing in some of his reserves off the bench. Jay Levy, a 5'3 junior from Lake Arthur, Louisiana. Desiree King is back in from Houston. And we'll try to introduce you to some of the others. Allie Alford has checked back into the game. And the foul is charged. That's going to be charged to Levy. So Union has gone now 4 minutes without a score. I said this game would probably be played at least in the 80s. I'm not sure if I think that now. And trying to drive it home was Howell, and it was knocked away. So Union has 15. Looks like the starters have probably played their last today, unless this thing would suddenly get even closer than this. And I'm talking about get back down to a single-digit margin. Augustine in traffic. How in the world she maneuvered that in is unbelievable. As I say, Bailey Augustine is going to show you a lot in the future. She's just a freshman. And the foul before the basket is charged to Sally Howell. You got 3 minutes remaining, and this is one of those that you just simply call it mop-up time. And Union staying with its man-to-man defense. You see a lot of switching, different players depending on where they are on the court. Anna McCready getting set to check in. That one was pushed too hard, and they missed the follow, and it is Keely Robinson who comes down with it. She can handle the ball quite well for a post player. And again, open is Caudle. Let's see if Robinson tries to work it in the post. They're down to 7 in the shot clock. And again, they're not aware of where it is, but Robinson takes it down and draws the foul. So Keeley, who's got 4 in the game right now, and Mark has played 11 Lady Bulldogs in this contest. And wholesale substitutions coming in again for Mississippi College. We're seeing Maya Bobo, the freshman from Saltillo, Mississippi. Sky Vaughn, she's a freshman from Pontotoc. And Keeley's frustrated with herself. She's a good free throw shooter and did not like what she did there. And as I said, Desiree King is back into the game. Yasmin Mosey, she is a freshman from Chicago. I want to say hello to all of you parents out there who are watching and family members. I know how supportive that you are across the board of the young ladies from both of these teams, and we just salute you for all the encouragement that you've given to these young people through the years. That was Tennant, and she's picked up 6 points herself since she's been into the action. Seems like a little bit of hesitancy on the part of these younger Lady Bulldogs right now because they're and that's going to be Howell going to the line. She doesn't hesitate to go inside. The foul is going to be charged to Bobo. So Howell will go in for 2, and Anna McCready comes in at the post to take over for Keely Robinson. I believe Mark has had everybody in now. And Howell gets the basket. So Sally has connected. And Lady Bulldogs trying to get back up 20. That's what I call the mortuary pause here in this place. It was so silent that I'm not going to say you could hear a pin drop because that is the most overused cliche amongst cliches. Let's just say this. You could have identified any baby cry in the house during that. Getting close to the final minute, and Howell is charged with the foul. That is only the third team foul of the quarter for Union. Union has committed only 7 personal fouls in the entire game, and we have a brief timeout. One of the distinctive notes about this Lady Bulldog team is how well they get along off the court. And, in fact, junior post player Keely Robinson says something good happens with this team virtually every day.
I was actually talking to Miracle about this earlier this morning, and we were
let's remind everybody that that's Miracle Gray, who is one of the graduate assistants on the team and a former Lady Bulldog.
Because her senior year was my freshman year, and that team was enjoyable last year. Our team was enjoyable. But this year we were talking about how every day we walk into practice, and you just know that, like, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to do something that's funny, or somebody's going to uplift the mood, and there's just, like, not any bad days on our team, I feel like. If somebody's down, then somebody's there to pick them up.
And you got a jump ball. Anna McCready on the throw-in just absolutely commanded that one, and the alternate possession is going to go to the Lady Bulldogs. Excellent defense on the part of Anna. Oh, those happy guys down there on the bottom rung. And trying to go down again against everybody, overshooting it was Bailey Augustine. She has no fear in that kind of traffic. And trying to take it slow is Sky Vaughn. These younger players desperately would like to get a basket. And iron was unkind there, and they got a new 20. And the rebound is coming off to McCready. And let's see if the Lady Bulldogs can get it up to 80. All right, the dish out. McCready's playing the post, and we got Augustine back at a guard. They have to shoot by the time there's 3 seconds left on the game clock. They went to the inside, and it's knocked away. And they say that it went off of Union, and Mark's a little confused about that. And so we're going to keep it right here. 78-58 Lady Bulldogs, and they have pretty well controlled this one from the first quarter when it was 25-14, and Union had a lead by as large as 22. And the Lady Bulldogs have just simply dominated this one. Fourth quarter largely has been played with the younger players who haven't had a lot of game action. And so the offense has somewhat ground to, I don't want to say to a halt, but it's not been as consistent as we saw in the first 3 quarters. But at least today they prevented an explosion, as you see some more of those happy fans here. They at least prevented an explosion that MC had down in Clinton in their first meeting, in which Union gave up 29 points in the fourth quarter. I think those people really want to be paid per appearance in the game. Josh Simmons up in the crowd. Tell you what, Josh has had a tragic year, and I got to tell you, he was one of my students. He's one of my good friends, and there's not a better guy in the world than Josh Simmons. I'm glad to see him out here at the game today. They got one final opportunity at it, and they'll try to get it to the inside, and they do. Bobo connects for a basket. And Union's just going to skate the game time out, and the Lady Bulldogs will win it 78-60. Their 16th consecutive victory on the season, and they are now 14-0 in the Gulf South Conference, just absolutely hanging on to try to commandeer that number 1 seed in the Gulf South Conference tournament, which will be starting up on March the 1st. Well, let me run you down as you see again a look at some of the big crowd that's here today. Let's run down the scoring for Mississippi College. It was Bradley, who is not their leading scorer. She went above her average today with 12. Kayla Bradley, the senior from Memphis. And you had Kaya Julian that came up with 11 on the game today. And on the other side of the ledger, Union had tons of players that everybody played today. That's a good thing. And I didn't even mention toward the tail end of the game, Claire Maxson from down in Henderson. She got into the game. And you had all but 3 of them who managed to deliver some points today. But you had 11 points for Samaria Thompson, who had some great, great moments today. 6 for 6 from the free throw line. She was excellent there, as was Jalencia Williams. And also, she was 2 of 4 from the floor and had a three-pointer. And then, so she had 11 points. Then it was Bethany Dillard with 14 points. She hit that mark right off the bat with a couple of threes that got Union going, and she was 5 for 8 from the field, 3 of 6 in three-pointers. So Bethany with 14 points, but no question that our player of the game, and today the kind of game she had, she just took control of it, particularly in the first 2.5 quarters, and that was Jalencia Williams. If she had played the entire game, she probably would have had 30-plus. She was 9 of 15 from the floor, and this is the thing you really want to see, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. That was really the promising thing because she struggled at times, and she's about a 61% free throw shooter, but today, perfect. Then 13 rebounds as well as 2 assists. So this is her second straight double-double. I got a feeling Jalencia is going to be a candidate for the Gulf South Conference Player of the Week. If I had a vote, she would get my vote indeed. But with 23 points, 13 rebounds, perfect from the free throw line, 2 blocks to give her 49 for the season, and 2 assists. Our Worthy Road Studios player of the game, it goes to Jalencia Williams. I'll run down the rest of the scoring. Shanique Lucas with 8 today. Bailey Augustine had 6, and boy, was she going in traffic. That girl has no fear whatsoever. 6 points for Emily Beard, and Emily had 2 early threes, and you felt like she's getting her shooting touch back. She just didn't put it up much today because the Lady Bulldogs didn't really need it as well. They were feeding Jalencia so much that they didn't need as much from the outside. In fact, Union only scored 8 three-pointers today, but we're still 40% from behind the arc, which is above the season's average. Let me run down also any more scoring we got here. Keely Robinson had 4, and then you had Baker, Howell, Morrison. They had 2 each, and the one thing about Ashton is that you may say, okay, well, she only scored 2, but let me tell you what she did do otherwise. 3 rebounds on the day, 6 assists, and a steal. And I got to tell you, she was quarterbacking this club like crazy in the first half. And so she had a terrific day, even though she only put 2 points on the board. Let me run down quickly your stats. Union 26 of 52 for 50%. Mississippi College 26 of 64 for 41%. Lady Bulldogs 40% from behind the arc. MC was 33. And then Union 18 of 22 for 82%. You get to this time of year, that's what you want to see. You want to see your team blitzing at 75% and above from the free throw line. And for Mississippi College, they only went to the free throw line 4 times and hit 3 for 75%. Union was out-rebounded 35-29. But in the turnover category, frankly, this is somewhat of a misnomer. Union committed 11 turnovers, but most of those, 7 of those, were after some of the younger players came in, and there was a lot of tentative play that occurred. MC committed 15 turnovers, but a big thing is points off turnovers. Union picked up 19 points off the mistakes of Mississippi College. So your final on this one, Union 78 and Mississippi College 60. Lady Bulldogs 19-2 on the season, 14-0 in the Gulf South Conference.